Good evening and welcome to Off the Line Racing, where we get ourselves ready for what I believe is round six. We get ourselves over to the mighty Silverstone after you've had a nice little break week. But it is time for the Silverstone Grand Prix with its 5.891 kilometres long circuit, making 3.660 miles, 18 turns, 2 DRS zones. Plenty of places to be brave and pull off overtaking, and what has got a lot of heritage and culture in Formula One. My name is Corey Brooks, one of your two commentators for this evening. Join with me in the booth. It's Lanky. How are we doing, my friend?
Good evening, everybody. Doing much better than I was last week. So hopefully I'll be a bit more talkative to anybody that was there as I was a bit quiet. So yeah, looking forward to the race as well with these guys around this track.
Absolutely. We're getting ourselves ready for what will be the 18-minute short qualifying session you've seen throughout this season and seasons past, where we have a full grid joining us now. I did just see as we loaded in that Ollie did disconnect. We're going to get him back in. Got plenty of time to get out there and get some qualifying underway. But for now, we're going to go to the track because all the drivers are there, getting themselves ready to go out on the first push laps. Nobody's on the track yet, but they'll be applying those setups and getting themselves ready to rock and roll. And we are track side. What a beautiful sight indeed. The sky's looking a little bit grey, a little bit dull, and a little bit dim. Could the threat of weather be on the way? Would not be the unknown here in Silverstone. Happens also often. Do you see the speckles of weather? Not known for its sun, even in the summertime, is Great Britain. But here we see some drivers are starting to grace us with their presence. They're coming to the track. We have the Kick-Sauber duo straight out on the grid, that being Cooper Fan and Ashton the Brit. So we will dive on board with those after I get the little bit of details up for you so you can see your lap data in the top right and the track map at the bottom left. So we do have Ashton the Brit leading the way for the Kick-Sauber duo, sporting one of these special liveries, indeed looking a little bit different, kind of nice, I've got to say, out of all the liveries. Oh, was that a screen freeze or a rollback or something, because he has just lagged all the way back behind his teammate. We're on board with Cooper Fan now, who will lead us away. Bit of a screen freeze moment, and another one for Ashton the Brit. That's a problem. Is he having issues, a lag maybe, or just screen freezes? That's disastrous for the Kick-Sauber driver. Not what you want going into qualifying as you try and get yourself ready for what could be the lap of a lifetime. Your first lap could well and truly propel you up there. The track does get better, but you could make mistakes. You could find yourself off the track, pick up an invalidation, or maybe just spin it, get the rear end kicked around and lose drastic time on your lap. You need to make the most of the time that you've got. Have we got Ollie back with us? I'm not entirely sure. Still in the pits. I don't think we
I have
do.
sent him an invite, but I haven't seen his name pop up to say he's rejoined.
On board with Cooper Fan, you see the cars trailing behind, trying to catch up to that Kick-Sauber as they warm up their tyres. Heat is king in Formula One. To get that compound fired up and working correctly, we're going to activate the layer of compound on top, which just sticks to the tarmac and helps keep these tyres on maximum grip. But here we go for Cooper down the Hamilton straight, and away we go. Gets going flying into the first couple of corners, absolutely flat to the floor. Now is he brave to deploy some battery on the exit here to try and boost himself up to what is turn number 3. Back around there, nice and funny, swinging it back around the loop before he comes up to Brillage, and I think, is it the Wellington Straight, I believe, as he gets the rear wing open for the first time, now down towards Brooklands and Luffield. You will see that purple sector 1 flash up on the track map. Don't be fooled, this is just the banker lap time. I'm sure Cooper has got some more time in his lap. This is just the foot in the water, testing the temperatures, see what you can get away with, see what sort of pace you can lay down on the banker lap. It's more of a practice push lap for those. Oh, bit of a slip and a slide there coming through Corp's corner. That would have cost him some time. The back end really kicking out there and almost drifting around in a power slide motion as he tried to keep his foot pinned on the throttle into Maggots Beckett's, and back out of the Chapel curve now to open that rear wing for the final time. And you will see that purple sector time immediately just disappear as more drivers come through to set their sector 2s. Oh, around Stoke corner, favoured overtaking potential spot as we see Narval is retired in the pits for serving his qualifying ban. So for Cooper Fan, out of the final turn, how much time lost did we see? It's 25.9. That's going to be some big time losses. Boss Moss goes half a second quicker up to the top with a 25.4. Brian and Buemo 26.3. Dr. Steele 25.9, just a few hundredths away from Cooper Fan himself. Before we see Syrian Alpaca 26.3 as well, just 1,000th away from Brian and Bueno. How crazy is that? Fine margins already on banker lap times, something you'll only see here in Off the Line Racing. TDR Vide going up into 5th position. Huff and Dorback just lining up in 2nd place on that front row with Boss Moss so far. Marius Anderson jumping up there before Myth immediately dethrones Boss Moss by 0.3 of a second, before again Lawrence Patton now to take that top spot away from Myth by just a couple thousandths of a second. We're already getting down to the fine margins, the fine numbers in these early opening start or qualifying. This is very interesting as we see the Haas diving off the road there. I wonder what's going on there. You having a problem, my friend? You're just avoiding everybody as they all come through on their in laps. I've got to mention everybody's done their laps. Only one car coming through, that being Jack, who is on a push lap. So everybody ahead of him who set their lap times need to be ever so cautious not to get themselves impeding put against them later on in the shooting side of things. Glitch 10 in the Red Bull caught himself an invalidation, although he is on a timed lap. No lap time will be coming for the Red Bull driver.
Yeah, so close times already for bankers between everybody that has put a time down.
I've got to say, yeah, Ricky just called it in the chat. We've got identical times. Cooper Fan and Ryan Hurren have got absolute identical there for 8th and 9th. Close. You say it's close, mate. It's a hell of a lot more than close, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I didn't even notice that as I was saying it. Good eyes off of Ricky there.
Identical times on the board. Close margins between your pole sitter, current pole sitter, and P2, just 3 thousandths of a second. And then, as we look further down, we have Brian and Buemo and Syrian Alpaca for 14th and 15th. Just 1,000 separating the two, but surely those bank laps are not representative. These drivers are going to be chasing that flat 26, even not in getting into the 25 time, because they are the only drivers that are well over that 26 time until we see Jack with a 36. I'll be quiet. Jack's done it. Never mind. He's showing true 2026 Aston Martin pace. He's 10 seconds off. That's about right at the moment. Oh, that's great. Here he goes on his push lap. We'll stay on board with him because he is deploying the battery. That rear wing is open and he's flatting it to the floor, coming towards Brooklands and Luffield. 2 seconds up on his current best time of 36.5. And I expect him to be even in that Aston Martin. There's got to be some more in that as he comes up out of Woodcock now. Out of Cops corner we go. No slip and slide for Jack as we saw for Cooper Fan in the kick Sauber. He just threw it too hard, did the Sauber man. But for the Aston Martin driver, certainly sending it through these curves like no tomorrow. Really pushing and trying to extract every ounce of lap time possible. 6 seconds up on the Delta. Now it is a personal best, but I'm not sure if it's a full purple sector 2 as he gets going out of store now, down towards Club, into Vale and Club. The final corners to go. Any more pace in that Aston Martin to come your way? He was well and truly down on what you would expect to see. Are we in the 25s? Are we staying in the 26s? It's a 26, but for some reason, I said 25 even, just broke into the 25s. I saw that wrong because it came up at the top left and it was a 36. Never mind, I'll be quiet. He's in the 25s by the width of a hair. So just holding on just slightly ahead of TDR Vide, who's on an out lap, trying to push on now to try and improve on that 25.987. Feeling like he's got more pace in the tank, wants to try and push on for it as we look to the front. Lawrence Patton, current pole sitter by just 3 thousandths of a second over the Red Bull driver of Myth, who is also contending for the championship. Glitched, current Drivers' Championship leader, sat there at the bottom, hasn't got a timing yet, needs to use these last 10 minutes to absolute perfection if he wants to get back up there to the top and try and challenge for pole position against Lawrence Patton or his teammate rival in the championship, Myth. This is going to get interesting. This is going to get interesting.
Yeah, now that they've got their bank collapse down, they can risk that extra push and really test the limits of themselves and their setups.
Now, as we look at Marius Anderson in 6th position, I'm not repeating what Ricky said in the chat. I'm not. Marius Anderson comes out of turn 4 with a slip and a slide, and onto the Wellington straight we go. Opens that rear wing, but how much time has that cost him? Because he looked a bit unsettled there. He's actually up on the Delta by half a tenth, just about. Keeps on pushing through the left field we go. And now flat to the floor, get yourself powering around Woodcock, trying to build up all that speed and momentum to get yourself around Corpse Corner. Very cautious and careful on the entry. You've got to throw it in, but don't oversteer the car and get yourself sliding. Don't run it too wide on the exit. It's all about getting that perfect line before you get yourself set up for Maggots and Beckett's. Sort of flat all the way through, then lifting and throwing the car left and right, trying to keep it controlled as you maintain all that speed and momentum, almost 0.2 of a second up on the time. He's looking to challenge for what could be a P3 second row start in the Grand Prix as we get going out of Store Corner. Has the McLaren got any pace in the tank to get up there on that second row? Or is there any more tense to get out of these final corners though? What could be onto the front row? It's a big ask. But Glitched is to the top with a 25.091, toppling Lawrence Patton, throwing that Red Bull back up there as he is your current standings leader, looking to chase down that championship. It could be there. Give my boy Ollie some screen time, please. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. You'll wait and find out. But Myth to the top, jumps ahead of his current teammate, rival Glitched Hen, showing a little bit of dominance here, looking to try and claw back some points that can help in the championship. What's happened there? Bit of a moment for the Red Bull man as he's just gone to the top as Rich Man goes up into 5th position. And let's have a look down at Ollie, who's on an out lap. He's coming around the final corner. He's going to start his lap. Let's give Ollie some screen time. This better be a tremendous lap. And a little bit of lagums there coming into the first couple corners. Oh, what was that? Side by side with his teammate. What is going on there? You two be careful and cautious. One of them's on an out lap. One of them's on a push lap. Now, is that a case of impeding? We'll wait and see on the results in a couple of days' time. When you lot get to see my spicy stewarding reports where I slap you all on the wrist, and I do love slapping you all on the wrist. I'm not even going to deny it. I get greatest satisfaction sometimes in some of the penalties that I forced. But as we get on back on board with Ollie, as he comes up towards Woodcock, was looking mighty fine in the first sector, I've got to say. Looking a little bit quick and a little bit racy.
Ooh.
I don't know if that was desync or lag or what. Was that a moment? Was that a wiggle?
Yeah,
was
that was definitely a wobble.
As he comes up towards Maggots and Beckett's. Ooh, that looks a little bit wide there. Really pushing away from the apex, but he managed to save it well out of the chapel curve. Some cars in front. Ooh, no. Oh, no.
No.
I don't know.
That didn't look too pleasant.
We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see.
Not from the head on, anyway.
He comes out down towards the final couple corners now. Has Ollie got a time worthy of the top? Is he in the top 10? Is he challenging for a podium? Top 3? It's a 10th position. 25.854. He's still in the 25s, but look how close the grid is there in that mid-pack. From 16th.
Considering he looks to have a wobble as well.
Yeah, he did have. He looked like he had moments. He did. Did look like he had moments. But he's still in the top 10. Now look how close it is from 16th going up to P8. 8 drivers, all within 0.2 of each other. That is fine margins, if I say the least, in the mid-pack. But again to the front, where you've got Myth leading by almost a tenth over his counterpart rival, Glitched Hen. It's getting close. So Glitched has got some time he needs to find. Myth is asserting a little bit of dominance here. Now, if I remember from what I heard, the pole last time out was in the 24s. So Myth is close to breaking back into it. The last time we ran Silverstone here in Off the Line Racing was in the 24s. So will we see another 24 time come your way in Season 6? On board with Ratty. The McLaren coming around the first opening corners, round turn 3, swinging it round turn 4. Getting back on the power, watching that line, firing out around to get onto the Wellington straight, deploying the battery, rear wing is open, boosting that exit speed. The McLaren man, who's done so well with his teammate Marius Anderson in previous seasons, taking constructors. I don't think he's had his championship just yet. Marius Anderson being a two-time champion here in off-the-line racing. Well, the McLaren duo have had their championship days. Are they coming back to try and stop what could be Red Bull dominance? That's what I want to see.
I mean, the Red Bulls have been very strong all season. They're bringing the pace margin at the front, but they're very close to each other though. So it's interesting to see on what track which one gets the better side of it with how close they've been all season.
Rosberg and Hamilton vibes. Do we have a spare?
Yeah,
Do we have
similar.
a spare in this season?
No, he was a sitting duck as soon as he hit the grass.
If we had a spare in this season, as Ratty goes up by 0.3 of a second, up into P9. Good lap there to try and get himself up there and help his teammate. But to no avail to get up to that front runnings where they're no strangers to, are the McLarens. They've been up there in the past, but this season not being their best. The Red Bulls have just been also quick, also fast, and now they're going to be fighting each other for the wins for the championship. Glitch 10 has been here for quite a few seasons, returning driver over the past 2 years. Still hasn't had that championship win yet. Almost in the first 2 seasons, was well and truly in the fight against Leon, who you won't see anymore, but he's in the standings. When we pull it up on the lobby restart, we'll go over that and you'll see. But he's just not had that championship yet. Maybe is this the time?
We're at the halfway point, so this is like where all the standings sort of start taking shape, and the real fight begins in the second half. Like you put your foot in the door, sort of really, don't you, in the first few races and see where you're at, and then comes to the second half of the season, it's all about knuckling down.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I remember, if I remember correctly, last season Myth took the championship. So
I believe so. Yeah.
out of the 5 seasons we've had Leon double champion, Marius Anderson double champion, Myth to dethrone Marius Anderson from breaking any records, to take it 3 for 3. So that record was split. Now Myth is chasing his 2 for 2, and Glitch 10 is chasing his first. So this is just going to be interesting now. One driver is going to make history to be the 3rd driver to get a 2 for 2, because that would literally be first 2 seasons dominated by one driver, second 2 seasons dominated by another, and then the next 2 seasons dominated by another. It's a bit mad if you think about it. But Glitch 10 could be the factor that stops this. Or Myth could just do it and then chase his 3rd and then break the record. So, this is where things are getting interesting. But the final laps are starting to come your way. We're going to jump on board with Myth, who's currently not going to be the leading Red Bull. But I think Glitch 10 will be the leading Red Bull, is indeed. So we will stay on board with Glitch 10 unless that's Lawrence Patton. It is, never mind. I'm going to jump on with Lawrence because these are the 3 cars we're going to try and watch out for to take that pole position. Biggest bottle goes to Ashton the Brett. Didn't even get a 25, mate. I should be top 8 right now. Oh, it's depressing. Depressing. You can do better than that. What are you playing at? What are you slacking for? Lando Norris bottle job. Then it kicks Albert. As we're on board with Lawrence Patton now, chasing pole position. Could he be the one to stop the Red Bulls who have been also fast all season long? Coming in a reserve, driving that Haas car, gets around at turn number 3 up towards turn number 4 where the DRS will become available. Gets that rear wing open as he straightens the car out to try and maximise the speed, not shed any of the momentum coming into Brooklands and then swinging it back around Lovefield. Now you need to get on the power as quick as possible and try and build up all that momentum to swing you around Woodcote before you've got to fire it around Corpse Corner. It's called Corpse for a reason. It could be your end as he gets around nice and Bonnie keeps it well and truly within those white lines. We get flat to the floor towards Maggots and Beckett's here. Keep it flat, lift and call, throw it into the left now, catch it again, back around to the right, back on the power as fast as possible and keep it pinned all the way at the Chapel Curve. That's 2.5 tenths up so far for Lawrence Patton. We're going to get into the 24s, providing he can maintain this lap, keep his nerve and composure. He's got a couple more corners to go. Looked a little bit wide there at Stowe. Wasn't really hooked up to the apex, but now as he fires into the final couple corners, just a chicane and one final right-hander to go, will we see new pole position time? You bet your ass we will. He's in the 24s. It's a 24.944 onto Myth or Glitch 10. Glitch 10 coming into the final corners. What sort of pace shall we see from the current leader of the drivers' standings? Is it to the pole? No, it's not. All eyes back to Myth, who's currently maybe down on the Delta. I'm not entirely sure, but for now, Lawrence Patton is the driver to sit to the top. Is Myth on a push lap? Has Myth screwed his lap? I think he has. He's diving into the pits. It's over with. It's done. Lawrence takes pole, being the only driver to break into that 24 time. It is the 24.944. Take a bow. The man in the hats.
Yeah, Red Bulls just couldn't seem to hook it up in that last run. Both of them away from quite a bit away from their times that they already had.
Well, the Red Bulls couldn't seem to hook it up in their final laps. I mean, Glitch did improve by around 400ths of a second. He just wasn't enough.
I was on Myth most of it, and I just watched it. Last time I saw him, he was 6 seconds down on his fastest. So I didn't see where he went wrong though. So it's interesting to find that out.
Well, he's still up there in P2, lining up on that front row, but your pole sitter, Lawrence Patton, in that 24 time. Myth in second. Glitch 10 lining up third. Boss Moss, Vide, Richman, Huffendorf, Marius Anderson, Cooper Fan, and Adam do your top 10. Going out of that, you have Brian and Buemo, Ryan Hurren, Ratty, PW Jones, Dr. Steele, Ollie, Jack, Ashton the Brit, who had a disastrous qualifying, Siren Alpaca, and Narvol serving qualifying ban. And there you have it for your qualifying session. Lawrence Patton taking it away as we get ready for what will be the starting lights and then the checkered flag after what I believe is about 26 laps of racing here in Great Britain. But for now, we have a lobby restart. You're going to come back to my lovely face and a lovely graphic that I've had of Lanky for a very long time. It's a helmet with his name on it. I've had this since Mexico, like
Mexico, yeah, I did. That was that finale? No, it wasn't a finale.
I can't remember. It's from like 2 seasons ago. It just never got changed. It's just never been changed, I'm going to be honest. Well, we are back, and as we get ready... Actually, no, do you know what? I forgot to do my usual OTLR fashion. It's the lobby restart time. Everybody's going to die. You didn't have your daily... You didn't have your dose of Bosch. I didn't give you any Bosch. We're going to go back and wait for the Bosch. There we go. And there's the jumpers getting straight ready to rock and roll. Who's that leading us away? Give us the timing screens, you desyncing thing. There we go. Here we go. Where's the Boschies? Where's the Boschies? Oh, there's some Boschies. Who was that? Was that Ratty? I think it was. He went straight on sideways on, but nothing happened. Lawrence Patton not giving us a Bosch. There we have a couple of drivers giving us the Bosch. Oh, there goes Huff and Dolbach. Didn't die. Who else is going to die? Somebody die. Vide died. There goes Vide. Cooper Fan did absolutely nothing. He just stopped. Oh, well, that was boring. There was no wall to really slam into in Silverstone, is there? I forgot you just flat all the way through the first couple of corners, aren't you?
Yeah, the snake, the S section.
A little windy, little snaky section, yeah, and then you harsh on the brakes, firing it around to the right, back around to the left, and then to the left, and then DRS, and then to the left, and then to the right, and then to the right, and then to the right. Oh, here we go.
Left.
All is disconnecting. Ooh, issues.
Yeah.
Issues for...
We're getting back in when we're back in the lobby.
One of the drivers. Nevertheless, you've had your Bosches, your bish bash Bosch. We're coming back to my beautiful face and that graphic I've had since forever. And we're going to talk a little bit about the standings more than anything. So we get onto the drivers' standings. You can see that Glitch 10 leading the way by 16 points over his teammate Myth. Now, by no point Is this said and done? Is this set in stone? Glitch 10 could well and truly be caught back up by his teammate. But then further behind that, Boss Moss in the Mercedes also has a good striking chance to try and get up there and challenge against these Red Bull duo. But the Red Bulls seem to have the pace to always be locking out some form of podium, to be up there at the top and challenge for what could be the championship outright. They've just been also dominant, such a good team of the two drivers to be. It was inevitable in the end. But Leon, who will not be driving anymore, sits there in fourth position with Marius Anderson, two-time champion here in Off the Line Racing, sits there in fifth, still asserting to be the fastest of the McLaren drivers, was Ratti the best supporting teammate out there of the entire grid. Peter Jones in sixth, the Welshman who can always get the points and keep his race nice and clean and consistent. Never ever see Peter Jones in many incidents, keeps his nose clean and just picks up the points in the end. Always see him in the top 10 of standings as we look further down towards Swifty in 8th, Tabu Dwarf in 9th and Boba in 10th. Siren Alpaca in 11th with Vide, 12th Huff and Dorback, Adam Cooperfan, Ashton the Brit, Jack, Dr. Steele, Narval in reserve, and then Ollie at the bottom, yet to score points as well as Steele and Narval. It's tricky out there in Division 1. It's a tough grid. It's hard to get those points. You expect to be able to just score them, but you can't. There's too much competition. You saw how close qualifying was getting. At one point, we had 8 drivers within 2/10 of each other. Now, that's the finest of margins. When you're all pushing as fast as possible, flat to the floor, it only takes 1, 2, 3 good corners to gain that time. But to find that time, also difficult indeed. As we now take a quick little look onto the constructors. As you see, the dominant Red Bull duo absolutely clear in the standings by 68 points. Flying up there, absolutely flying. And as we look to the McLarens, again, the McLaren duo with Marius Anderson, the two-time champion, and then his supporting teammate Ratti, scoring the points, able to get themselves in second in the constructors, whereas Mercedes line themselves up in third. Ferrari in fourth on 49 points, where you see the points really start to separate as Ferrari need a really good result to catch back up to that Mercedes team. Kick Sauber in fifth, Aston Martin in sixth, Alpine and Williams, and then the Racing Bulls only on 8 and Haas on 6. So Lawrence Pan with that pole out here today, sitting in the reserve seat, may be able to score some crucial points for the Haas team. Maybe see them jump up as much as towards Aston Martin. If that duo don't score any points here today, it could be a Haas up there challenging in this constructors fight for the mid-pack. Maybe even come for that Kick Sauber duo, Ashton the Brett and Cooper fan. If they can't pull out a good result, I know Ashton's had his struggles here in qualifying today, so it's going to be a complete recovery drive for that Kick Sauber driver. If he can score any more points to maybe get a little bit higher against Ferrari. Mercedes, maybe a bit too much of a stretch, but to at least challenge against Ferrari could well and truly be on the cards, providing Brian Buemo, who was leading quite far ahead of the Kick Sauber teams, well, in a sense, in the qualifying area, he was 11th. So out of the top 10, he was right there. Could be challenging for points straight off the line, where you've got Ashton the Brit right at the bottom of the grid, who's going to have to work his way through that field. It's very easy for the Ferraris to get up there and in the points, whereas the Kick Sauber's got a bit of work to do. As we get ourselves ready and waiting, how far are we off the restart? I'm not entirely sure.
Just about ready the map, so not very far.
Well, here's the calendar for your viewing pleasure. We line ourselves up around 6 here in Silverstone, and you see the dates don't really match up because it is the first today. Now, according to that, the first would be Monza. We had that break week to make things a little bit longer in terms of the season due to the DLC having a delay. We want to try and keep everybody entertained and keep everybody racing while we wait for the 26 cars to come your way and grace your screen. But then we'll look at Monza, we'll look towards Zandvoort, Suzuka, Las Vegas and Miami, back-to-back USA races before we finish off this season, the Yas Marina. All those dates, just add 1 week. That's all you've got to do. So, for example, Monza will be on the 7th and 8th, for Zandvoort, 14th, 15th, Suzuka, 21st, 22nd, Las Vegas, 28th, 29th, Miami, the 5th and 6th, and then vice versa. I think it's the 12th and 13th will be Yas Marina. So again, all the dates, just add a week. because we've had that break period and the calendar's not quite been updated yet. But nevertheless, you may see an update if we get that sorted. But all you've got to do, add 1 week onto these races, and you're all set. As we come back, you get to see my beautiful face once again. I know I'm sexy and all, and everybody just wants to relish in my beauty. But we've got racing to come up to. We've got racing to do. We've got a couple of seconds before these guys get to the grid and line themselves up for what will be 26 laps of the Great Britain Grand Prix over in Silverstone. Hosted the first ever Formula One Grand Prix back in 1950. The heritage and culture here is unmatched around the entire world. Silverstone always produces a good race, and every driver here knows Silverstone very well. You saw the times, you saw the pole. Lawrence Patton is looking to challenge for that victory. But that is enough from me. We're going to get down to the track, and we're going to see what these drivers can do. Oh, I apologise for that. I pulled up the chat and for some reason I got an ad. Can you imagine getting an ad on your own stream? It's crazy, isn't it? As we wait for the drivers to get ready. What's your prediction here, Lanky?
I go glitched win. Even though he's starting P3, he's been racing like pretty strong, and yeah, I'm gonna go with glitch for the win.
Yeah, Glitched is looking strong. Myth was struggling in those final qualifying laps to try and find the pace, but I don't know. I want to try and give it to Myth because he's rather spectacular in Silverstone when needed, but Lawrence Patton's pace in qualifying certainly shows he's got the pace to really pull ahead. That was a 10th clear of the cars behind. They were struggling on their laps. He was a 10th clear in qualifying over Glitch 10, but the race is going to be something quite different. Glitched and Myth, well and truly, will be sticking in that DRS, will be sticking nice and close and just trying to watch where the overtakes are coming, where they need to make them, and try and manage those tyres efficiently and wait for the right time to pass, because it's all about a battle of strategy here, I reckon. You're going to see some unorthodox overtakes, I reckon, in the mid-pack. So big fighting, big action happening in the mid-pack further down the field, but those front runners, there's a lot to lose and also a lot to gain. Here we are. 3 red lights, 4 and 5. The grid is hot, the drivers are ready, and we are all go, go, go. With a brief little decent moment, all the drivers are getting away nice and cleanly. A little bit of ghosting for some, but Lawrence Patton is clear. Myth trying to, well, that's Glitch 10 trying to close up to his teammate Myth. We have Vine and Bossmoss side by side as we get coming up into what's turn 3. Contact with Lawrence! And that sent him packing, and Glitch 10's now trying to pick up the pieces, going around the outside, and Myth does manage to go around the outside. Lawrence Patton falling down the order down to P5 after a disastrous moment on the start. That may have been contact between drivers. As here goes Bossmoss challenging now to the inside. Can he find that open door? No, but he's got his wing within the door. And Myth left absolute no room for error there to try and defend against that. Does manage to hold his position. Further back, we have Marius Anderson, who's dropped a few positions, looking to try and challenge and catch them back. Vide challenging for P3. Lawrence Patton now trying to fight back up the field. Myth fell back. Lawrence Patton now, is that Myth falling back and going behind Lawrence to return position?
Yeah. Possibly. Maybe if he feels he was at fault for that spin.
Is that a full concede? I think that may have been a full concede from Myth. Yeah, I mean, no argument there. Good sportsmanship as now here goes Lawrence Patton trying to challenge Vide to the inside of Store. Does manage to get to the apex quicker. Plenty of space left between the two. As he pulled off that move, I think he has up behind Bossmoss. Now trying to close up to the back of that Mercedes. Glitch 10, 3/10 ahead of that. Has not been able to break free as we now get through. On lap number 2, the DRS will now be enabled for these drivers. This is where things may get a little bit spicy and dicey. Looking further back behind the field with Brian and Buemo side by side with Ollie. Ollie making a charge up the field after what has been a disastrous qualifying. Found himself all the way down the order. Not up there in the top 10, but now he's challenging for P12 against Brian and Buemo dropping one position off the race starts, qualified in 11th. Ratty's up there in 11th now, and he's just trying to close up to the back of Dr. Steele. Dr. Steele making some good positions up off the race start. He's up into P10. That's a beautiful start from the Williams man. But Ollie's the one who's trying to claw through the order, trying to make these positions up after what has been a bit of a stinking quality.
Sarah now Pack is just coming out of the pits, so wonder if that was for a wing. Maybe picked up some damage off the start.
Ryan Herring close up to the back of Ollie. Ryan Herring could be looking for a move. No. Getting nice and close though as we get into Maggots, Beckett's and the Chapel Curve. Couldn't be lining it up, but he's had a bit of a wide moment there. Opened the door for Adam to have a look around the outside. Adam's getting close, almost onto the grass there. Big squeeze from your admin Ryan Herring. Some wheel banging between the two. Big send into Stoke corner. Oh. Ryan looking for a switchback. Can he pull that one off? Just not enough momentum and speed on the exit. That would have been beautiful if he'd have been able to get that one done. We see Richman side by side with Huff and Dorback. Goes on through ahead of the Williams, and that's a position gain from the Aston Martin man. As anybody else looking to try and challenge for any positions. Cooper Fang getting dangerously close, goes for a dive on Vide into turn number 3, pulls that one off Vide, looking to switch it back to no avail, can't find his way through. Beautiful stuff from Cooper Fang there. Beautiful racing so far between these drivers as we get going on lap number 3. No loss, no foul. Ratty's going for a move as he looks to Dr. Steele. Dives to the inside, picks that one up with ease. Dr. Steele not fighting too hard. Doesn't want to risk any contact, any damage that could come his way. Now he's going to close up into the clutches of Brian and Buemo, the Ferrari behind. Can the Ferrari get ever closer up to into the points? As Ashton the Brit is struggling with that recovery drive. Sits himself at the back of this train.
There's still everybody pretty much in the train.
Side by side action, Ryan Herring and Adam goes through. Ryan Herring drops a position there. That was brave, absolute bravery. As we go into Maggots and Beckett's, Ryan Herring now trying to challenge it back. Can he make a move or stick around the outside? Looking for it, almost side by side. He's got his foot in the door, runs in a little bit wide, and that's going to cost him the time and momentum he would have needed. Closed him up to PW Jones. Jones is looking for the outside. Ryan's got to defend the inside line, but it's switched back now. Jones is to the inside, hits the curb, bounces off it, loses momentum, and has to fall back behind that Racing Bulls car. Ryan Herring is dropping positions like a sieve, not having the best race start so far. Jones is now closing right up to the clutches. Now Ball almost off the track there, at the back there. Haas trying to close up to Jack, but Jack's holding his own, just waiting for an opportunity to come his way. As we look back up towards the front of the pack, this is one mighty train and they're looking for any overtaking opportunity to come their way. This is a beautiful opening 4 laps of racing, I've got to say.
Yeah. Bosmos was getting close to glitch a second ago, but now Lorenz is looking on the back end of Bosmos, so Bosmos is going to have to start looking backwards a little bit more than forwards at the moment. I'm saying that Lorenz just sort of broke off. Yeah, so they seem to have their own little areas where they outpace the other car, but just not enough to get a move done between Cosmos and Glitch.
Yeah, gaps are starting to form now, starting to open up a little bit. Adams looking left, looking right there, making himself looming large in all his rear mirrors, letting him know that if you leave a door open, that Ferrari might strike and take it. On board with Mick, the Red Bull coming through the first opening corners now. The Glitch 10 is leading the way still. Lawrence Pan just working on tyre management, doesn't want to push too hard and try and get past Boss Moss. They're playing it nice and cautious, nice and safe. With Paul Sitter just running the rhythm. Glitch 10, who you predicted to be the race victor, Lanky, currently upholding his end of the bargain. He's certainly looking to try and challenge for that victory. He's got a championship to win. Currently leading the driver's standings, as we spoke about during the lobby restart. Chasing his first title in off-the-line racing after racing here for the past 5 seasons. Is this season 6 his chance to take the crown that he's been waiting for oh so long?
Cosmos is coming up close to it. I think he's on a push now for the position. He was closing the gap through Maggots and Beckett.
Yeah, I think that dirty air is going to be a devastating factor now as we get going on to lap 5 and the tyres are starting to wear in a little bit. Take a quick look at the tyres, everybody on the mediums, everybody would have started mediums, even Siren Alpaca, but we have to see him box early bells on what we can only presume is wing damage. To cost yourself 30 seconds of race time, it's got to be a wing replacement there. But as we keep our eyes on this fight that could happen at the front, that's 5 or 3 seconds. Keep it within the white lines, man. Siren Alpaca, keep it within the white lines, man. It's not too difficult. You gotta slow down, you gotta slow down. But that's 3 seconds slapped on your wrist.
Yellow, oh, that's Siren Alpaca. He's gone off at the end of coming out of Chapel. They're not having a great time at all.
The Racing Bulls have had a disaster Grand Prix from Siren Alpaca, from what we can assume is front wing damage to replacing the wing, to now dropping it and now going back into the pits. That's a retirement. Au revoir. Yeah. Goodbye, thanks for trying, we'll see you next time, mate. And for Ryan Heron as well, who's had positions off the start, lost them once again. It's not been too good, too shabby for the Racing Bulls duo in this Grand Prix. I want to tell you who's having a lovely time out here, and that's Cooper Fan. He's up there in 5th, trying to close up to Myth, but he's outside of that 1 second. Still got the DRS to his capabilities so far, but for how much longer? This is going to push him back into Marius Anderson. We know that McLaren likes to make overtakes. Oh, is that Lorenz into the pits?
Lorenz taking an early pit, yeah.
Oh, interesting stuff. 19 laps on the hards. Possible.
I'm not sure. I know tyre wear is high. They'll be screaming right from the end.
It's a 2-stop. Medium, hard, medium. Is he going for something unorthodox? Is he taking a risk? We'll have to wait and find out for Lawrence Patton, the reserve driver. He's certainly going for some unorthodox strategy as every other driver stays out on the track thinking, nah, you do that, we're not going to do that. Dr. Steele picks up 3 seconds, and with how close this pack is, he is going to lose positions like a sieve all the way down the field, possibly to the back of Ashton the Brit there. That's a big train from P10 down to P8. Back up to the front. Boss Moss, anything to come your way? Oh, Ryan, keep it within the white lines, man. Oh, there's a spinner. Oh, Vide's gone out of Chapel Curve. He's been sent for a spin. You spin me right round, baby, right round. Unlucky, son. Get yourself back underway. You can see the positions that you need to, but he's got away safely. Kept himself nice and bonny. As there goes a wide jack. And he's ultimately going to lose that position that he's just gained from the spinning Alpine. And fall back behind it. Narval, tense. Whoa! Whoa! What's he done wrong? What did I do?
Someone misjudged their braking by the looks of it.
Ignoring yellow flags.
Oh, was it ignoring? I thought it was going in the pit, but that was the Alpine in the pit, isn't it? Yeah.
What's he done? Did he not lift or something? Did he overtake? Oh, did he get an illegal?
Quite possible.
Oh, wait. Vide was moving, and Narval was past him while he was moving on track.
He's going to have to serve it.
He's going to have to serve that under his pit stop, which means that's not going to get removed. Oh, no. That's disaster. I love being head steward.
But in all that, Myth has got ahead of Bosmos. I just looked and noticed that. It's not Bosmos behind Glitched anymore. To be
No,
honest, though.
Myth finally made his move after all the drama and chaos and calamity we've seen. But here goes Marius Anderson. I mentioned it earlier. When Cooper loses that DRS, he's just a sitting duck, and that McLaren loves to overtake. Goes past the Kick-Sauber, and now the Kick-Sauber has been pushed back into the clutches of Richman 1975. Do you think he's got money? Do you think he's rich?
I was just saying, does he live up to the name? I was saying that before the race.
Do you think he's got some dollar bills? Yeah, pal, do you fancy doing
Sharon's
another
Karen.
score?
Yeah, Sharon's Karen, isn't it?
yeah, pal, tap us a score, aye. He's not doing too shabby, to be fair. He's in P6 at the moment, trying to push on to get a little bit higher up there. Lawrence Patton sets the fastest lap on those fresh hard compound tyres. Now they've heated up and got that compound working to optimum performance. We see Jonesy and Ollie also following suit into the pits. Ollie's going to pass Jonesy as he pitted the lap before. Jonesy now comes out on lap number 9 for those fresh hard tyres. Presumably going to the end of the Grand Prix, that all the rest of the drivers feel like we can go a little bit longer. Now what I want to know is the undercut potential for Lawrence Patton as we see Glitched, Myth, Boss Moss, Marius, those drivers dive into the pits. How much time gain is Lawrence Patton going to have, and is it enough to win the Grand Prix? Has he been saving tyres in these first opening laps? You know, what is the difference? 2 to 3 lap differential. Glitched and Myth, Boss Moss, they're all going to be able to push harder for longer, especially at the end of the Grand Prix as they go one more lap. We see Boss Moss dive into the pits. Glitched and Myth are feeling confident there, going for 10 laps on the mediums.
Oh, we've got a yellow.
Is that a spinner? Oh, that's wide. I think that's wide. Is it? No, wide's into the pits.
There's no wing. It's Dr. Steele. He's got practically no front wing left.
Oh, he's got a puncher! Anyway. He's got a puncher from
left.
left!
Yeah, it's on that left.
Ah! Why is it always you?
After 10 laps. It's crazy.
Why is it always you? Serious question, why is it always Steele?
He's not gentle enough, he's too aggressive.
Isn't this like the third puncher he's had this season? The second puncher he's had this season? I know we've seen
it was
the
Dr.
KFC
Steele in
block.
Hungary, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure. No, that was what on the TikTok. That's KFC block.
That's KFC, that, yeah. So it wasn't him there.
No, I've seen Steele have a puncher. I'm sure I've seen him have a puncher this season.
No, front left already. Like, I know it takes a beating, but 10 laps and it's gone.
I mean, that's damaging.
Crazy.
That's ruined his race completely. He's lost way too much time though. Massive time loss. Like he was off the track. He's had to concede positions that he had, and the punch has come at him.
But yeah, Marvel's served his 10 seconds, and he's come out 6 seconds behind him.
Exactly. He's lost huge time, massive time. Here we go. Marius Anderson's going in. Glitched and Myth are still going for one more. They're going to risk it. What do you think you're going to get out of it? A biscuit? It's brave. It's bold.
So I was just laughing at Ricky. He said it's not the Finnish flick, it's a Swedish flick which makes you punch her.
Yeah, it seems so, doesn't it? You want to pop your tyres, it's the Swedish flick. If you want to gain time and be fast, it's the Finnish flick. So it seems. Peter Jones goes fastest on those hard tyres, getting them fired up, ready to rock and roll. The Welshman who can keep his nose clean and out of trouble. Further down, there's is that Vibe battling away with Brown and Buemo, and Buemo's on the softs. No, it's Adam and Vibe that were battling away, and Buemo's on the softs.
Yeah. Ooh.
You feeling alright, bud?
Yeah.
Is he expecting
He's
a
the one
safety
for one
car?
lap.
I wonder if he's expecting a safety car. I mean, that would be a
Unless he's
big
doing a
brain
very short
strap.
stint and he's doing hard. But then, yeah, he's got to be needing a safety car surely to get any gain from it.
This is a big brain. Yellow flags. Oh my God! I was about to say, there's no way.
Hard, soft, hard. They're not been
Yeah,
very nice in about 6 or 7 laps.
this is...
Oh, I've just done it, haven't I? I'm like, no, ignore that.
Right, Ingo's glitched, Richman, Ratty, Jack. Myth's going one more lap. Praying that he doesn't get a puncture. Because we've seen one driver completely pop his tyre 3 laps ago.
Yeah,
And
that
Myth
was on
is
the
still going.
mediums after 9 into the 10th lap.
Yeah. Vide goes fastest on the hards. Now, I'm going to keep my eye on the Red Bull. Oh, he's running wide there, understeers, costing him. Those tyres are done for. He's got to box. He's got to have to box. Now, store corner's going to be the decider. If he throws this into store and that front left goes like it did with Dr. Steele, because obviously that front left's going to take the punishment. It's not the right tyre, it's the left.
Yeah,
The car
it's the
pushing
front
to
left.
the outside,
Takes
yeah.
the beating.
Takes an absolute demolishment coming around store, but he's dealt with that well. Dives into the pits, yeah. Beautiful time management there from Myth, making them go a couple laps longer than the rest. And now we'll have the freshest hard tyres of the lot towards the end of the Grand Prix. That's beautiful time management from the Red Bull driver, I've got to say. But for Brian and Buemo, who's still out there on the soft tyres, bold, brave strategy. Is it going to play out?
Osmos getting ahead of Lorenz. See where these are when Myth comes out.
Lauren's been 5 laps on those tyres now. Ryan's adding up.
Oh!
Oh! Safety car!
Safety, yeah.
I don't believe
Myth
it!
is behind the safety in the pit.
I don't believe it.
The timing.
That has
That
got to
needed to come
be...
30 seconds sooner for me.
That has got to be the biggest big brain strat I've ever seen ever. He now has fresh hards with Myth. He's got 13 laps to do. And everybody's diving in now, and what, are they going to risk Meads? Have they got another set of hards? Did they go harder allocation? Some drivers did.
Yeah, I think with this track, anybody that knows this track would be not stupid, but not very wise to go any softer than the harder strat.
Where is he going to place himself now? Because all the fronts have passed the safety car. If they're all going to come in now for fresh hards to try and match suit and match the tyre wear differential, Brian's going to make up massive positions.
Yeah, it could be. Right, the bang on halfway as well. We get a little reset.
That's crazy. No, like, people don't understand how crazy that is. Because the fact he went softs means that even if he went mediums, he had no chance of making the race distance. He has to box again. And he was fully reliant on a safety car to come out to make this strategy work. And it's come out. And this is crazy.
As Bosmos gets to 10 seconds.
Ooh!
Ooh, that could be his podium. And Ollie.
Oh no.
He's missing breaking into the pit lane.
Bosmos has got, yeah, he's gone onto the softs quickly. He's quick swap lap to the softs so he can do one more lap. He's going to have to box at the end of this lap, but he can't serve
Yeah,
it.
and so
He can't serve it on the safety car. It won't serve a 10-second on the safety car. It'll box you and send you back out. I don't. If I remember rightly, I don't think it serves under safety car. If he does, then he's lucky.
He's probably slapping himself in the face right now. This.
But if I remember rightly, I'm fairly positive it doesn't serve under safety car. Somebody correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But yeah, that may have been a loss there for Bosmos, like a huge loss. You have Ollie on the meads. So Brian's not.
I think he can. I think it's only drive-throughs you can't serve under safety. You
can serve under safety car.
Yeah, I think 10-second pen you can, just not a drive-through.
Is it the drive-through you can't serve? Okay.
Yeah.
I knew you couldn't serve something under safety car. I just didn't know what.
It's still going to cost him big time either way, but
I don't think it's going to be too much of a loss, though. He's going to be at back of the
yeah,
field, obviously. Like, Brian Mbeumo's not actually gained as much as I thought he would. But he's come out and made that little soft stint work for him. Not lost anything, not gained anything. He was fully reliant on that safety car. Yeah, drive through you can. Right, okay, that's the one. I don't play this game anymore. I can't stand it personally, but props to these guys that can. And especially the pace that they go out. Oh my god. I couldn't do a 24 here, that's crazy. That's sweat that I don't produce.
yeah.
Yeah, back into the pit spot, Smoss, serving that 10 and swapping it for some fresh hards. Everybody else just following suit. Now, how many laps have we done here on the surface? Second lap. Should be in the end of this lap, I reckon.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody doing pit stops and
up.
stuff, and because they've already passed the safety car once, it's gone for a little bit longer. So, those that are boxing now, not necessarily prolonging safety car, it's just the way the format's been going. And we're going to get what? 10 laps, 11 laps of racing. Comes in at the end of this lap, you've got 11 laps of racing. And everybody's on fresh tyres. This is it, fighting for positions. Ollie's got a 10-second slap on the wrist, and he's either going to try and serve that at some point, or he's just going to have to take it on the chin and hope that he can bridge some form of 10-second gap to the back of the pack, which I don't see happening, especially with the likes of Boss Moss, and Adam was showing some good pace. You've got PW Jones behind Ollie. He's certainly going to be challenging Ollie straight away for position. Brian Mbeumo, if he can get past. Ashton the Brit's made somewhat of a recovery, finding himself up into 13th position. Narval in 14th. Dr. Steele, after that damaging moment and damaging his wing, there's the call safety car in this lap. The gap on a bridge, the safety car will break away. But Dr. Steele's got some work to do as well to gain back some positions after his moments. Glitch 10 now to lead us away. With the safety car, he's going to try and catch out his current rival and teammate. Although he doesn't want to leave his teammate a second duck. They've got a firm grasp on the Constructors' Championship, but it's not over yet. If they can lock out another 1-2 for the next 2 races, then I reckon they could almost guarantee it being a Constructors' Championship. I'd have to run the numbers and work out the points, but we do have 6 rounds to go. So this championship is only halfway through. There he goes, flat to the floor, and away we go. Half a second has been bridged, 6/10 to his teammate. Well and truly caught his teammate, a sitting duck fast asleep as we almost bridged 7/10 on the restart there. Cooper Fan was almost caught out as well. He's losing time, dropping behind. Nobody else challenging for positions other than Lawrence Patton diving through on the McLaren man. The McLaren rat, he's going to try and challenge that one back, diving to the inside. He's not going to let the Haas man go too easily. But through he goes, and it's cost him quite a bit of time there to the Aston Martin in front. Richman trying to close up to the back of Cooper Fan, looking for a podium challenge. Not to come just yet. Mick now trying to claw back some lost time after he's left sleeping on that restart. We have Dr. Steele making moves there, trying to get through and challenge on Ashton the Brit. Contact between the two. Ashton the Brit was going for a move to the inside. Couldn't find his way through. He's ended up backing up into Narval there. Narval's now looking for an inside line. Can't seem to find it. Ashton keeps that position and holds on. Lawrence Patton now making moves side by side into Maggotts Beckinson Chapel. That's brave. He went from the inside to the outside on Richman and now sets sights on Cooper Fan ahead. Richman looking to try and put some pressure on Lawrence. Lawrence yielding to no avail. Absolutely feeling none of it. Coming around Store Corner, looking to try and close up that gap to Cooper Fan. Myth and Glitch 10, the Red Bull duo just leading the way. Finally breaking that 1 second to Cooper. Cooper not having the DRS as we get going onto the lap. Where it will be enabled is certainly not going to help him as Lawrence Patton's charging through the order. He's trying to close up now. Cooper still without DRS. If he can't get back within that second, he's a sitting duck to the Haas man. But I think he has just got back within it when he needed to. Ratty now being passed by his teammate or passing his teammate as these two are fighting away. Is this papaya rules? You can fight away, but just don't crash the car. As we see them closing up to each other, there goes one, there goes the other, side by side as we come down. DRS passes from Marius Anderson, gets on through from his teammate. Nice and easy done.
It's a
So
pretty
far, so
decent
good.
restart for most, yeah. Cosmos making his way back up. Just got past Ashton.
Oof, Ollie getting a little bit close there with, I believe, Huff and Dorback can find his way through. Huff and Dorback, I think, running a special Williams livery, looking mighty fine out there on the track, if I say so myself. Myth now trying to close up to his Red Bull counterpart. One is white, one is navy blue. To separate the two, to show you we're maybe on the same team but we're wearing different colours. The hat is off, the bets are off, and the teammates seem to be sporting a different colour to show that they will fight each other. Glitch 10 rocking that red and the white and red of Red Bull colours. I like that one. I like the Red Bull, the literal Red Bull. Excuse the pun. But on the back over the intake, the air intake, I like that. Nobody else is feeling brave, no challenges coming thus far. Trying to watch those tyres, we've got 8 laps of racing still to come your way. Drivers are trying to set themselves up for what could be their last passes. As Lawrence Patton closes up to the back of that kick Sauber, Cooper's going to try and defend like his life depends on it, because he wants that podium, but can he hold that podium against the pole sitter of Silverstone as he's trying to charge up and get back to those front runners, but being 1.3 seconds behind. It's going to be one mighty hell of a push from Lawrence Patton to get back within DRS potential, challenging those front drivers. And still no move to come his way against Cooper Fan. Cooper still putting on a harsh defence, burning the battery, recharging aggressively to try and defend off the Haas driver. All is quiet on the western front.
Yeah, the Red Bulls checking themselves out now they've broken DRS to Cooper.
Yeah, almost 2 seconds gone now. This is vital for the Red Bulls, but damaging for Lawrence Patton as there goes PW Jones diving into turn 3, bouncing over that curb, losing speed and momentum, just unsettling the car a little bit. Can he switch it back? Look for that inside line. No, not quite yet. He's going to have to sit behind and wait for one more lap before he challenges on the Alpine Manavoli for the final points paying positions. Look back to the front as Myth closes up ever closer to his counterpart. Can he make any opportunity happen and try and challenge for the race victory here? As Glitch is looking for his first championship in F1 racing. Myth is looking to make it 2 for 2. But can he make it so? As Glitch has looked very promising all season long. We're at the midway point and Glitch is leading by 16 points. So he's going to need 2 race victories over Glitched finishing in 2nd place to bring that to a level paying margin, and then the gloves are off between the two. But for now, Myth is looking to try and put some pressure on his teammate, looking for an opportunity, looking for an overtake, but it's not coming anywhere just yet. Could Myth be the one to win in Silverstone? Glitched is looking to try and hold his own, but Myth is very aggressive here on lap 19. Closing to the inside into turn 3. Can he make it stick? The Red Bulls going side by side. Contact!
Oh.
Glitched he sent for a half spin,
move
but did manage to hold that one off. That was brave, yeah, like you say, I wasn't expecting so much there. That was very brave from Myth. Feeling like he needed to do it there. Felt like Lawrence Patton's getting a little bit too close for comfort as he's inside that 1 second. Look at that. Later on the brakes, almost going for a dive on Glitched 10 though. Lawrence really pushing the car, really pushing the limits. He's almost gone side by side with Glitched 10 here. Coming out of left field. Beautiful stuff from the Haas driver. Really putting the pressure on the Red Bull duo. Either they have slowed down dramatically or Lawrence is pushing very aggressively. Look at this, the Red Bulls working together to make a wall. But here goes Lawrence, he's side by side with Glitch 10. Can he get one? He's almost making it side by side with 2. Almost getting through on Myth as well. Almost saw an open door. But he's up into P2 and now sets sights on the leader. Here goes Glitch 10 trying to challenge back for that position. He's forced to the outside. Squeezed by the hat. Can Lawrence hold his own and hold it around Store? He's out of battery. The recharge line is on. Glitch 10 is forced to wait another lap. And he's almost been able to pull it off, but not quite. Beautiful attack from Lawrence Patton. Beautiful attack from Glitch 10. But Lawrence is the one who's managed to hold that one off and set sights on the Red Bull leader of Myth.
That's some lovely racing, especially for Maggots and Beckett's. That was crazy.
That was very crazy. Cooper Fan for a dive to the inside and contact with Glitch 10. Send himself for a half spin, and he's now dropping positions like a sieve. Almost losing out to Ratty as well, but sits behind the McLaren and Marius Anderson. That's a 2-place drop there for Cooper Fan. That's unfortunate for him. But Lawrence Patton now still trying to close up to Myth. Still looking to try and challenge for the race lead. Your pole sitter looking to make it the Grand Slam. He takes pole. Can he take victory after what will be, well, it won't be a Grand Slam because he's not led every lap, but it will be a pole position to race victory after what has been a Red Bull charge for these last 20 laps. Who's had to back off dramatically here? Is he forced into a sense of recharge? Half a second back, so is Glitch 10, half a second behind Lawrence. Glitch is closing that gap up, maybe trying to force Lawrence to burn a bit of the battery rather than keeping it in that recharging state. But this is where they're trying to set themselves up for the end game now. You've got 5 laps of racing to come your way. Now is about preparation. They want to get that battery back up to 100%, get themselves in prime racing position, close those tense gaps so you're almost bump drafting your rival ahead of you through the corners as Lawrence Patton really sends it there into the opening corners. You see how much he gains, but then under braking and in certain corners, Myth is just getting better exits, getting the traction and rotation better in the corners, and he's able to bridge that gap open a little bit more. You saw he dropped to 2 as he threw it into that first corner with Lawrence Patton. He's now back up to 3/10 as Myth is just able to get better grip in these corners. The DRS is bringing it back down to 0.2 of a second, but it wouldn't surprise me to see it pop back up. There we go. Myth just able to get through these corners a lot better than Lawrence Patton. That's got to be a downforce difference between the two.
Yeah, what's great coming into these final few laps now is we have 11 cars all in DRS. So anything could happen yet between quite a few drivers.
Yeah,
how close it is.
Yeah, couldn't agree more with you there, bud. Absolutely. All those 11 drivers, all within a chance of striking for positions in the last closing laps. It could go any direction here. But as we look back to Lawrence Patton, he's looking to get a little bit racing, a little bit close to the back of Myth there. When is the time to strike? What do you think, Lanky? Let's have your prediction. When do you think all this action is going to come down?
Probably from the end of this lap. I don't think, with how close it is, I don't think anyone would want to leave it too late. Like, we've had this debate before, haven't we? I mean, it's personal preference, but I would rather defend that final lap than attack.
Yeah, we've asked.
Because I get frustrated with not being able to get it done, whereas the defending, you can sort of, you park your car in the right place. It's a bit easier, I think.
Yeah, you know, you're leading, you're controlling it in the sense, aren't you? You can just block off the optimum apexes, drop off the optimum exit lines, and just make yourself essentially a concrete bollard. It's impossible to get past.
You save your battery.
Yeah,
you should be alright.
Yeah, you need it. The DRS straights here, you're just damaging, especially towards start. I know we're on board with Lawrence, and he's focused again on keeping that battery right, keeping it at 100% as Glitch 10's now starting to push a little bit more aggressively. Close those tents down. Are we going to see Glitch try and challenge up towards Store here? Is this the time we'll see that Red Bull's try and strike and put himself back up the rear of his own teammate and try and challenge for the win? Lawrence has done well to get back into that top 3. He's just struggling now to close up inside I'd say a tenth of Myth. It keeps going to 2, maybe 2.5 tenths.
What glitched on Lorenz though?
Oh yeah, glitch with a big boy send, going for it. It's now switched to the outside line. He's been shown the hard shoulder, and to no avail. He's going to have to wait this one out a little bit longer. But you predicted it right. The end of this lap, you reckon things going to happen? Yeah. Glitch is going for it. End of this lap, trying to make the moves happen, trying to get in position. I think he's got that similar mindset. Rather defend on the final lap than attack on the final lap. You'd rather have the position and just try and hold it off.
He's got 2 cars, hasn't he? He's got to try and get Lorenz done and then try and get Miff done. So the earlier, the better for him.
Yeah, absolutely. He needs to get through now, if anything. And that gives him at least lap 25 to get some power back in the battery. And then that lap 26, if he absolutely has to, try and attack all out guns blazing. And for Lawrence Patton, he's going all out guns blazing. You can see 7 tenths now to Glitch 10. Glitch just focused too much on recharging the battery and has lost drastic time though. Whereas Lawrence is still within the 3-4 tenths that we keep seeing lap after lap. He's just not able to get any closer than that. It's 2.5 tenths, 2 tenths at best. And he just can't seem to get any closer. Myth has got this covered up and locked off.
He's very, very strong through the corners. Myth.
Yeah, look at it there. He dropped back down into 2s and then straight back up to half a second. He just handles the corners so much better. He's carrying more speed. He's got to be carrying more entry speed and maintaining it through the corner because it happens mid-corner. The 10th gap opens up mid-corner. It's not like it's on his exit or his entry. It's just mid-corner. He's just carrying so much more momentum. And Lawrence just can't seem to get close. But here's who's close. Glitch 10's going for it. Is that contact to wing damage? I think it is. Glitch has lost his end plate on the front left side. That's devastating for the Red Bull. This is going to be disastrous now for the final 2 laps. He's going to have to try and hold his own and maintain that downforce, but he went for a dive bomb on the Haas driver and ended up slamming into that side barge board, has lost his front end plate on the left side. That has crucially damaged the Red Bull's race. Any chance he had of maybe pulling off some form of other overtake is well and truly out the window. But what that has allowed Myth to do is bridge a 1 second gap now to Lawrence Patton. Lawrence is put under pressure. He may have to burn some of that battery because you're almost coming up to the detection zone.
Game. A bit of team play as well as position. Like Glitch obviously wants the position, but he's also thinking, look, if I attack this man, Myth can get away.
Does certainly secure the constructors, that's a fact, because it's a double podium once again for the Red Bull duo. If that was that team tactic, like you say, something to try and help out Myth to get along in the victory and not let Lawrence Patton take those extra 7 points over finishing P1 and P2, then, you know, they'll try it. Every point matters, especially when the championship is this close between teammates of all things.
Yeah.
There we go. The final lap is underway. Myth leading the way. Has Lawrence Patton got anything more in the tank, anything more in the bag that he can throw at the dominant Red Bull to try and get past? You can just see, oh, there it is, bit of a dive, just not close enough to make any sort of impact and put that Red Bull under pressure.
Exit, though.
Yeah, completely compromised it. He's trying to catch up. He's got the DRS. Now is Myth going to try and open up the gap? No, he's going to try and keep it around the same place, but you just see how much stronger he is in the corners. Lawrence was very aggressive in his opening stint on the hard tyres, but he had to be. Oh no, he's slipping and sliding.
I think that's the decider. I think that could be the decider there.
Yeah, I think that's it. 7 tenths is a margin to gain, and he's going to have to burn some battery now to even break it down to half a second. That could have been it. That could have been the moment that has seen Lawrence Patton's chances well and truly out of the window. But again, it doesn't surprise me. He was very aggressive on the opening stint.
Pushing to the max on old tyres. It's always a risk for something like that to happen at this stage of the race.
Ashton, the Brit, making moves at the bottom of the field,
well
getting through on Adam. But for me,
that's the main thing.
I think he's just locked out now. Complete lockout. He's 6 tenths back. Lawrence is never catching him as we get into the final corners. Myth would have to spin it here for Lawrence to do anything about it. Lawrence is looking sketchy and dicey. He just can't seem to keep the car going. But there goes Myth across the line. And he wins here in the Silverstone Grand Prix, marking it another Red Bull dominated race, locking out a double podium. 1 and 3 for the Red Bull duo. Whereas Lawrence Patton got himself caught into that sandwich. That was a good one. But Silverstone, I said it before we got going. Silverstone produces a good
Rich man
race.
on his debut P4. Very
As,
strong race for a debut race,
yeah, Richman
showing that he belongs
1975.
there.
Showing he's got the pace, showing he belongs. You couldn't have said that any better, Lanky. He's coming, debut race. He's up there, almost challenged for a podium, straight out of the door. Maybe next time is the chance to get a podium. He's now sampled the water, you know. He's got his foot in there. He knows the temperature.
Get this going.
Yeah.
Now get your leg in.
Yeah. Get in there. He knows what to expect. He's seen how hard and how close the race
Come
was.
in, the water's fine.
Yeah, beautiful debut race though. Don't think I would have got points anyways that race. Siren Alpaca says in the chat after a disastrous Grand Prix. Damage off the start, boxes for a wing, struggles out of Chapel Curve, sends himself for a spin, ultimately retiring from the Grand Prix. But as we look on to the rest of the grid, Myth takes a victory here and helps get ever closer to his Red Bull teammate. And that may be Myth leading the championship now. If not, it's going to be 1 point between the two. Lawrence Patton lines up in second. Pole sitter almost did pole to race victory, but had a moment on the final lap that cost him 0.7 of a second. Glitch 10 in third. Rich Man on the debut lines up in fourth. Marius Anderson in fifth, with Ratty in sixth. Huff and Dorback, Cooper Fan, Boss Moss, and PW Jones managing to take that final point position. Line up your top 10. Jack, Brian and Buemo, Narval, Ashton the Brit, Dr. Steele, Adam, and Ollie doing your race finishers down to P17. And those that did not finish the Grand Prix, TDR Vide, Ryan Huron, and Siren Alpaca. Dual Racing Bull DNF. That is damaging in the constructors, but they didn't have many points to begin with. All in all, that was a very fun Grand Prix. And we'll now have a little bit of a look to see if we get any interviews. They're joining us in the interview room. And I'll have a look at our waiting room to see if we've got anybody waiting. We don't at the moment, but I will put it out there. The interviews join waiting room. Or don't, no pressure. All in all, fantastic race. Fantastic Grand Prix. Some mighty fine action, unorthodox overtakes, some brave side-by-side moments. Maggots and brackets. I've seen two drivers.
Probably one of the tightest top tens we may have had this season as well. Like, or at least like there was at least 7 or 8 cars there that finished in DRS.
Yeah, I agree with you. To be fair, that was a really well run Silverstone. Couldn't ask for anything more. We know the game's difficult. It has been difficult for overtaking, and they've been updating it in tyre wear updates and stuff like that. But we do have Myth joining us for his interview. Race winner, race victor. Congratulations here in Silverstone, coming back after a much needed break week. Your holiday's done you some well because you're straight back to the top as we get going into round 6. So it's got to feel good, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm a bit sick at the moment, so I'm probably not enjoying it as much as I could. But yeah, also not the cleanest race. Not sure if you noticed, but yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really feel like a very clean win today. But yeah.
Well, nonetheless, you managed to get the victory and close down them points quite a lot. Now, as it stands, I think there's 1 point between you and your teammate. Something I've got to ask you: is this full-on Hamilton-Rosberg scenario? You're fighting each other, or are you doing team tactics?
No, I think it might be Hamilton Rosberg, but probably a bit more clean. A bit more clean, yeah.
Oh yes, yes. We love to
I
see
like
that.
Today.
Well, couple of moments, couple of incidents, but hard racing. That's all we can put it down to at the minute until the stewards have a look if any reports come in. But all in all, a well-run race. You've got victory, and maybe, just maybe, if you can catch up to Glitched, you can make it 2 for 2 in the championship lineup. So you'll be the third driver to do a double championship back-to-back. since we rebooted off the line racing. So hopefully, chasing that championship, you can make it 2 for 2. But it's just a big congratulations from me and a well-run race in the end.
Yeah, thank you.
Lanky, anything from you, my friend?
No, just his sweat towel must be pretty moist after that one, like especially towards the end. Like it looked like the pressure was definitely on you for it, so you deserve it anyway. Because like you say, the pressure was there, and it could have easily gone the other way. So yeah, congratulations.
I just had to do a mistake, but with no mistakes, I think it's quite impossible to overtake. And I'm sure Lorenz knows it as well. So,
Yeah.
We do have the Red Bull teammate Glitch 10 joining us, who makes it third on the podium, and it's a good third position so far. I think you've been on the podium every race this season so far, have you not?
Yes, the ones that I attended. I didn't attend the first race of the season, but I don't count that. So,
Yep.
but yes, I've been on the podium every time.
Beautiful statistic to have so far, and leading by just 1 point now. That is something I've got to tell you. With your P3 finished, Myth taking the victory, the gap between you and your teammate rivalry that's going on here is closed up to just 1 point. So, ooh.
Yeah, it's definitely a shame that gap's come down that much. I didn't really expect it to. I was looking at a 1-2 this race, but after a couple laps, we thought 1-2, but especially after Lorenz box, but the safety car just completely ruined my strategy completely. Not so much Myths, but considering I had a tire lap down from everybody else on the grid, I was scared because I knew that would completely drop my pace around 3/10 a lap, something like that, maybe 2/10. And then it got even worse. I thought I was going to lose the podium considering I had wing damage at the end. Yeah, that wasn't great. I almost lost P3 because the Aston Martin behind just almost overtook me and then I lost DRS on the last lap because of that damage. So it was scary. Yeah, could have been a lot worse.
Well, you managed to hold it in the end and get yourself back onto the podium. But again, you're feeling confident going into the final closing rounds?
Yeah, I'll be trying to practice more and maybe see if I can get my race pace a bit better. That's what I want to improve now. I think quali's pretty much there, but it's the race pace.
Have you remind me? Have you been here every season since we rebooted? Or have you missed any?
I think I missed like season maybe 3 and 4.
4, yeah. Got 4 in my head.
So
I don't know.
Yeah, because obviously you had your championship fight in the first 2 seasons with Leon, but you've never actually had your championship yet, and now you're leading. So, question I've got to ask you is: are you feeling confident that maybe season 6 is your time to get the top?
Hopefully, but I mean the competition's got even harder, and I've just got to work even harder than that. Even though it was tough with Leon, that it's going to be even harder this season. I think, especially with some of the fast drivers we have in the top 6, top 5-ish.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, it is getting close. I mean, even qualifying today was rather close. We had a lot of drivers really, really closing the gap up, and then again, the first 10 laps, it was just DRS train, absolutely massive DRS train. Everybody nice and close together, so you can see just how close the competition's actually getting. And when it comes down to now, the points are getting very close between you and your teammates, and even so much as if Boss Moss can get himself a good result. Didn't finish too well today. Didn't do too good, I've got to say. So you will sort of bridge a bit of a gap there, because I think he scored minimum points, like 1 point maybe. But bit of a breathing space for you two. But again, we've still got 5 rounds to get through, haven't you? So anything could happen. That's racing.
Yeah, Lorenz just put a spanner in the works, and I mean, I sort of knew after that safety car it was going to be Lorenz and maybe even Bosmos overtaking me and Myth, but Myth managed to hold on. But that lap down tire just completely ruined it, and the safety car overall just ruined the race completely.
Oh, well, again, still good enough to get yourself on the podium, and congratulations to you from that. The Red Bulls are certainly a dominant team. I mean, you're clearing constructors, so we'll see how it goes into the next couple of rounds. You may even wrap up the constructors in the next 2 rounds, mate. So, yeah, all in all, things have been very good.
That'd be good if we could do that, but just hope we can get these more consistent. I think we've been very consistent the last couple of races, but this one was a bit more close for the rest of the field.
Yeah.
So they're definitely improving and getting closer to us, but I think what can you do when you got Lorenz in the lobby?
Nah, true. Yeah, it comes out of nowhere and just absolutely puts a stop to the whole plan and makes things difficult for everybody. But I guess that's what happens. Like again, do you reckon you could have had Paul? Do you think maybe?
Yeah, I messed up my lap final run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof, so even
It's
then-
possible, definitely possible, but just getting the whole lap together.
Yeah.
Also, didn't talk about Lorenz. I think he's a bit of a salty driver. I mean, the way we fought at the last couple laps to try when I tried to overtake him. I mean, I got wing damage from the collision, and then I think after that attempt, he just completely pushed me off wide, like driving very salty. So it's good to know that now, but I don't see the point in pushing me off wide like that.
Oh, well,
Max Verstappen style.
Yeah,
yeah.
on
Well,
purpose.
See how it goes for the future. But for now, well done on getting up to the podium. And I think that will do us all for today. We've got nobody else joining us, not your P2 sitter. He's going to wait this one out. But that will do us
I
here.
have one quick question.
Oh, go on.
Why Myth is in here. What happened on your final run?
I don't know. Probably
Because
the
when I went
penalty.
on with you, you were like 6 seconds down, and I didn't
I
see
mean, I
exactly what
aborted at
happened.
that point.
Oh
I
yeah,
had
yeah,
aborted.
like
Yeah, something happened. I remember.
okay.
He did what I did in OTLR season 1 in the last couple laps.
I just went
Although-
on board with him, and then his next delta that came up, he was 6 seconds down, and I was like, oh, what's happened to him?
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
that'll do us. We're all done and dusted. That's round 6 done, and your second half of the season well and truly underway. 5 more rounds to go. You'll see us next week at the Temple of Speed in mighty Monza, and I'm excited for that one because that is certainly going to show the talent of who's got the pace, who's got the speed, and who can manage their battery and their strategies more efficiently, because that's just flat out to the floor and away you go. So picking your right time and even getting close enough to attack for an overtake is going to be also crucial. But for now, we say good night and we'll see you next week. Oh, voice break right at the end. Of
yeah,
course
voice
it
break
does.
right on it.
Right at the end, of course it does.